Progressives Congress strategizes ahead of its September National Executive Committee meeting. Now, fresh crisis in Benue State PDP as former governors Gabriel Suswam and Samuel Ortom lead two factions. And as the off-cycle elections in Edo and Ondo states gather momentum, stakeholders express concerns over security situation. These and more on political updates. I am Victor, as we're standing in for regular anchor Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome to the program. The National Working Committee of the governing All Progressives Congress, APC, says every necessary arrangement has been made preparatory to its National Executive Committee meeting in September 2024. Now, the NWC of the party also reacts to the court judgment that sacked the caretaker committee members of the Rivers State chapter of the party.
We interest all of you to know that before that judgment, there was a judgment that had sacked the Emeka Mbeke Executive Committee, which gave rise to the establishment of the caretaker committee, to which they had appealed, and the matter is still pending before the Court of Appeal. As far as the NWC is concerned, this is a total abuse of court process, and we are still waiting for his appeal at the appellate level on his sack. And subsequent upon that details and subsequent upon that fact, we as an NWC deliberated on the matter and are reiterating the fact that we are still recognizing, in view of his his appeal in the first matter, we are still recognizing the Okocha-led caretaker committee.
Elsewhere, the People's Democratic Party in Benue State is embroiled in a fresh crisis with two factions led by former governors Gabriel Suswam and Samuel Ortom. The leadership of the party has, however, inaugurated a caretaker committee to reconcile the two factions and also organize a peaceful Congress. Senator Napoleon Bali from Plateau State is chairman of that committee.
Inauguration of the 17-man PDP caretaker committee to run affairs of the Benue State chapter for the next 90 days, following expiration of tenure of the elected erstwhile state working committee members.
We don't want any interest to be left alone. Whether good or bad, in a party you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everyone is important.
We must live up to the creed of the party. Power to the people. The people, therefore, must be allowed to select their leaders.
Chairman of the Benue State PDP Caretaker Committee, Senator Napoleon Bali, promised that the committee will live above board.
As a retired general, we have been well taught on conflict management. So the issue of whether Ortom or Suswan, they will not come back, and other big names. By the grace of God, I, together with all these members of the committee, we are going to unite them.
And contentions continue to trail the reinstatement of impeached Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu. Now, this report captures divergent views of key players in Benin City on the illegality of what appears to be the presence of two deputy governors in the state.
The Federal High Court in Abuja reinstated Philip Shaibu as deputy governor 3 months after the Edo State House of Assembly impeached him. His attempt to resume office has been resisted by the Edo State government and has even degenerated to violence, resulting in the death of a security aide. Since then, there have been accusations and counter-accusations between the state government and the embattled deputy governor. The issue re-intensified when the reinstated deputy governor announced his intention to officially resume office.
I want to reassure my dear people of Edo State that I am back in my role as the Deputy Governor of Edo State, ready to perform my duties.
We don't have two deputy governors in this state. We have one deputy governor, and that is His Excellency Philip Shaibu. If you have a case like this, you don't go to another court. You go to the same judge who gave the judgment, saying Shaibu remains deputy governor. That office was never vacant. You go back to that court, and it's the judge that will say, okay, I've given this judgment, but don't execute yet. Let me look at the point that you have. At the end of the day, the judge said, I will hear your position you have against this judgment on September 24th. So until that September 24th, and he gets his head and there's no motor, he now say, okay, I've reversed myself now. He's the deputy governor of the state.
If at the end of the day they win, he leaves. But that he has won and is there and is not allowed to function, everything that been done around him, around that, with deputy governor to take action, and it's done by other persons, is illegal and it's unconstitutional.
The State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nehari, in a press statement, described the reinstated deputy governor as an imposter whose intention to resume office would breach the peace of the state, especially as the two motions challenging his reinstatement is before a judge. This senior advocate of Nigeria gives reasons why the state government is legally in the clear.
The deputy governor has no right to just go to the office, because it is the High Court that will enforce the judgment. You have to wait. The state must appeal, and when they stay, you have to wait. Up the hands of the deputy governor is tight. If the government, even the state government, if they lose at the court of appeal, they have the right to go to Supreme Court. Now, what should be done now is for the Court of Appeal to quickly accelerate the hearing of the appeal. And who knows? One of the grounds the state government is raising is jurisdiction, which is very fundamental. Who knows if the court appeal not give them against the deputy governor? So the party should wait.
Okay, now joining us live in the studio to discuss some of the issues raised in the reports is the National Chairman, APC Initiative for Good Governance, Ambassador Mohammed Musa Soken. It's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you, and thank you very much for having me.
So we are looking at politics and governance. And your party, the All Progressives Congress, has scheduled its National Executive Committee meeting for September next month. How prepared is the APC for the next meeting, taking into account the political intrigues unfolding in Rivers particularly?
APC has always been a party that is systemic in executing all her programs and activities. In that regard, I want to assure you that APC as a party is fully prepared to organize and confront that exercise with all the intellectual capability that is needed to make it go without any hitches. So APC is well prepared towards that exercise.
Well, a lot of issues are being thrown around here and there. What are the possible outcomes of that Congress, of that meeting?
As I've earlier said, APC have a dynamic and very experienced people that they are always on to stage to see that the party perform, extremely very well in such exercises, as we have experts that are very well knowledgeable in the reconciliation, mediation, and giving all dices of reconciliation to effect positive changes in the political arena of the party.
Well, ahead of the Edo governorship election that comes up September 21st and Ondo states are slated for November, how prepared is your party to emerge victorious in these elections?
A significant step have already been taken, which is very, very fundamental. And in the winning election, the strategy that is mobilized and enforced is to reassure and engage the grassroots, which the party have actually done that. And it is within the tenets of the party's ethics to go down the grassroots, listen to the grassroots, and effect positive changes that is going to galvanize and work towards ensuring that the party comes out successful in the election. So all mechanism is already put in place, and all our lieutenants are very ready to participate fully in that election, and I'm assuring you APC is going to come out victorious in that election.
All right, let's put you on hold for now, Ambassador Soken, and take a couple more stories. Meanwhile, voters in Edo State and Ondo State are encouraged to go out and cast their ballots as security agencies are ready to provide a peaceful and conducive atmosphere. Now, Director, Internal Security Office of the National Security Advisor, Hassan Abdullahi, gave the assurance at the Interagency Consultative Committee meeting on election security at the INEC headquarters, Abuja. Now, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu urges security agencies to step up their operations and deal squarely with anyone instigating electoral violence.
Urge political parties, candidates and their supporters to maintain the peace as we approach the election day and beyond. Party and campaign spokespersons should tone down their negative rhetoric. For the security agencies, this is the time to be more vigilant. You should leave no stone unturned in dealing with any real or potential threats to the conduct of peaceful and transparent elections. Already, concerns have been expressed about the possibility of armed state and non-state actors disrupting processes.
Law enforcement agencies are on high alert and ready to swiftly and decisively deal with anyone trying to undermine the polls. To the voters in Edo State and Ondo as well, you are encouraged to vote confidently, knowing that government is standing with you and is standing to protect you. Protect your voice. Therefore, your role in promptly reporting any suspicious activities or threats to the authorities is crucial in this regard.
And improved synergy among security agencies and the adoption of technology will be needed if electoral violence must be reduced. Now, Chairman Police Service Commission Hashim Argungu and retired DIG Habila Joshak were among participants that gave the suggestion at the Election Security Management Symposium in Abuja.
Election, the only oxygen for democracy. But elements like electoral violence and attempts by some persons to manipulate the system through ICT, major threats. DIG Abila and DIG Argongo, both retired, had seen it all on the field, and time to share their experiences on how leaders can be elected based on merit. And the best place to discuss it is at the Merit House, Abuja. Virtually all the security agencies and other stakeholders on election management present here. Talks are usually the culprit in electoral violence, but the answers given by managers of elections need to be questioned again.
Two policemen cannot control electorates, other observers and officials at a polling unit. And you are to do that unarmed. And so criminals take the opportunity to come from the bush and begin to fire and send everybody and destroy the materials.
But in the 2011, social media caused the problems that occurred during that time. I believe now all our security agencies, they have platform and they have experts in social media. They can easily track them and get those who are trying to cause problems.
Not only a talk show, but also a time for research beyond the walls of the Merit House. So a book, Puzzles and Puzzles of Election Security Management in Nigeria, authored by Ikechukwu Kingsley Uzoma, unveiled.
The book itself also highlighted flashpoints, areas that are prone to violence during, before, and after elections.
Edo and Ondo polls, the test ground for the lessons learned from this symposium.
All right, let's get back to Ambassador Musa Soken, who is here with us in the studio. It does seem that tension is building, especially in Edo State, where voters are already expressing fear of insecurity. But the good thing is that security operatives are assuring them of adequate security. How is possible violence likely to impact integrity of the outcome of that process?
Security is everyone's business. So in dealing with security situation, is not something that every citizen will tie his hands and stay waiting for the normal kinetic and other dices that is used to counter insecurity to take place. This is a responsibility that is bedded on all citizens to ensure that they participate also in countering issues of insecurity. So during that election, it is our belief and hope that the youth are going to participate fully and they are going to engage in all manners that is going to promote a fair and hitch-free election. Because election, just as security, is a responsibility of all citizenry to put hands on deck to ensure that it is being taken without any iota of crisis, and it will be conducted in such a manner that it will be fair, free, and hitch-free.
Indeed, to guarantee a free, fair, and credible election is the responsibility of all stakeholders and not that of the security agencies alone. But what is your party telling the youths, especially as they are being persuaded to participate actively in politics?
In this, I want to state categorically, as always, His Excellency Senator Dr. George Akume, who is the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, has always advised the youth to eschew all manners of violence that is not going to promote good governance in this country. So our party, as always, we are preaching peace in all manners, whether in the political arena or even in the social and all other activities that is not going to trigger well for the development of the country. Development of this country is the first priority of this government, and it cannot be effected without peace. So peace is the most integral part of our politicking and governance. So our party has always been on stage and summoning all the youth to, eschew any activities that is going to trigger a crisis or violence in all areas of human endeavor. So it is our priority that youth should eschew all activities that is not going to promote peace and good governance.
But looking forward, Ambassador, what's the place of the youth in your party, in the scheme of things in your party?
Inclusiveness has always been the priority of this government. And of recent, there is a notion of giving over 30% of participatory activities appointment to youth. That is to encourage the youth, because youth are the strength of every nation. Their participation in political arena and all other areas of human endeavor is going to promote good governance, which is always the target of this administration.
And generally speaking now, before we let you go, where do you see the youths at the helm of leadership in this country in the coming years? How quickly do you think that the youths can catch up?
Well, as I've already stated it clearly, I said over 30% of the youth, by the special grace of God, are going to form part of this administration. And what is that? What does that entail? It means even at this level, youth are put on some situation where they should be able to manage the affairs of governance. And how do you get about good governance? You get good governance when you train people in such a manner that the equitable distribution of the country's socio-economic resources will be well managed. That is why this government deemed it fit to bring in youth in the affairs of governance. By doing that, it also mean promoting the youth to participate and get the experience to pilot the affairs of the government in the nearest future. So our party is just like a training ground for youth to participate and also contribute tremendously to the development of this nation. It will be surprised if I said after, by the special grace of God, the 8 years tenure of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the youth of this country are going to take over the affairs of governance in this country.
I hear you, Ambassador Musa Soken. We thank you very much for your thoughts. Ambassador Musa Mohammed Soken is the National Chairman, APC Initiative for Good Governance. It's always a pleasure having you. Thank you for your time and thoughts on Political Updates. Thank you for having me. So that has been Political Updates for today. We thank you very much for watching. I'm Victor saying bye for now. Fisayo, we will join you hopefully on Tuesday.